Hey guys, it's David from Automotive Press. As you guys know, I love trucks and body-on-frame SUVs because I love going off-roading, camping, fishing, you name it. I like to do outdoor things. And there aren't too many unitized body or monocoque body SUVs that can actually do some serious off-roading. Until now, because for the first time, we now have a Honda Passport Trailsport version, which has many off-road capabilities. And for the first time, I'm actually really enjoying and liking this monocoque body SUV, even though it's not a truck-based SUV. So let me give you 7 reasons why, in many cases, unitized body or car-based SUV can perform better than truck-based SUV like the 4Runner, Bronco, and Wrangler. Let's go. Welcome back. So here we have all new Honda Passport Trailsport. It is available only as a Trailsport version, which is the off-road version here in Canada. But in the US, you can also get non-Trailsport, normal versions of the Passport as well. Either way, they're all built in Lincoln, Alabama factory in the US, based on the same platform as a Honda Pilot. But this one is quite a bit bigger, wider than before. It's roomier as well. But most important of all, it's got the proper off-road equipment and the features and characters, because it is now a Trailsport model of the Passport. But let me do a quick quality check, as I always do on this new Passport. And I love this color, by the way, which is called ash green. But what about the gaps? Well, it's about 3.8 millimeter there, 3.9. The gaps are always a little bit wider, I noticed, on all Honda and Acura products. But the alignment and the quality of the panels are excellent. It's also about 3.6 there, 3.9 millimeter. And 3.7 millimeters. So even though the gaps are a little bit wider in terms of panel alignment, how things line up, and the overall quality of the body panels is excellent, as you would expect from Honda. What about the paint finish? Well, like I said, I love this ash green color, which is only offered in the Trailsport model. There's also a bright orange option as well, also new for 2026. But what about the paint thickness? Let me get my gauge and find out. So I got my paint thickness gauge, which is the one tool I use to measure my paint thickness on different cars. It's 129 microns. Let's check the front fender. 145 microns. Front door, 120, and rear door one more time here, 119, more or less the same. So it's exactly what I expect, which is kind of between 100 to 150 microns, maybe a tad thicker than your typical Toyota cars, which tends to be between 100 to 110. This one has a little bit thicker paint, which is a good thing. But the most important of all, the quality of paint, which is the actual layers of clear coat, the overall finish, is absolutely top notch. As you would expect, again, from Honda, I expect nothing short of world-class quality in terms of paint, in terms of body, in terms of interior finish as well. So I'm pleased to say that this Passport meets all my expectations. Let's take a quick look at the interior quality, and I'm going to talk about the 7 reasons why this may be better than truck-based SUV for general use. Okay, so I'm inside the Passport now, and once again, this is a world-class quality, and also happy to say that it's very functional. It's got big buttons, proper buttons on the steering as well. Very little piano black is being used. Instead, they have this kind of interesting geometric pattern on this one, which is a really cool usage of the plastic, because it looks kind of like a carbon fiber from far away, but it's not, and it's a kind of unique design, much better than what I saw in the Toyota 4Runner Platinum, which had a very strange pattern on the black trims. This is way better. Also, just the overall quality, like I said, in terms of if I do the punch test, everything is solid. I like the fact that it's soft plastic and soft molding here, and also even here, something that Toyota has ignored for 2025, because the 4Runners and Tacomas all have hard plastic here, often hard plastic over here as well. So this is way better design than what I'm seeing from recent Toyota models. Even compared to my Land Cruiser, this looks actually better. So kudos to Honda for designing a proper interior finish that looks upscale. You also use a real leather here and here, and just the design and practicality is excellent. But let me now really talk about the reason why, in many instances, car-based or unitized-based SUV might be better than truck-based SUV, because there's some advantages to this type of design. And also another important point is the fact that Honda still uses V6 engine, naturally aspirated, no turbo, no hybrid. So this Passport has the proven 3.5 liter V6 engine with a 285 horsepower, a little bit more power than before. It's not using turbo 4 or hybrid system. And you know what? A lot of people like it that way because it's naturally aspirated. It's proven, it's easy to maintain, and there's no turbo. And there's nothing wrong with turbo engines these days, but of course if you can have a V6 engine versus turbo 4, well, I'll take the naturally aspirated V6 anytime. So what is the first reason why I like this unitized body SUV? Well, it's all to do with driving, so let me take you for a drive. So I'm driving the Passport Trailsport now. Like I said, this is a unitized body or a monocoque body based on car platform. Although there is a kind of an integrated frame underneath, but it's not a separate frame like what you find in 4Runner or Wrangler from Jeep or Ford Bronco. They all have a separate body and separate frame, which is why you call them body on the frame. And even though body on the frame SUVs have become smoother and also have better handling than before, there's no way they can ever do better job of handling and cornering than unitized body, because by design these are going to handle better. It's lower center of gravity. The entire structure of suspension and body is designed differently, and you can tell right away when you drive this Passport, especially when you're turning, because the handling is predictable, it's accurate. You wouldn't even know that you're driving an SUV. And the cornering is also really good. It stays flat. So for example, if I were to take this car around this turn here, which is a roundabout, you can tell it stays really flat and corners really well. There's nothing out there in terms of body on frame SUVs that can meet this kind of a capability. It's just not physically possible because you have a body that's separate from a frame and it sits really high. So just the fact that center of gravity is high alone makes it difficult to maintain stability when you're turning. So that's the first point. The second point is the fact that it's also ride better. There's no way that body on frame SUVs like Land Cruiser, 4Runners, Bronco, and Wranglers can match the ride quality of a unitized body. They ride rough, they're bumpy, and even though they have gotten really good over the years, especially with let's say Lexus GX 550, even the Land Cruiser was pretty good as well. They're still pretty bumpy and quite rough riding when the road gets rough. Of course, with body on frame SUVs, they have a high capacity for off-roading. They're very capable of taking some rough spots and really tough terrains. But in terms of ride, you cannot beat unitized body. And this car really demonstrates that, because honestly, Passport just drives like a normal car. It's super smooth, very refined, great NVH and so forth. So again, that's an advantage of a unitized body over a truck-based SUV. So point number one and point number two brings me to point number three, which is to do with NVH, or noise, vibrations, and harshness. And again, by design, unitized body SUVs like the Passport will always be better in terms of NVH compared to body on the frame SUVs. So even if you compare it to some of the benchmark models out there like Lexus GX 550 or even Lexus LX, they're going to be always a little bit noisier, a little bit bumpier, and not as refined as unitized body SUV like this one. In fact, this Passport feels like a luxury vehicle. It's smooth, it's so quiet, it has a really good NVH, to the point where it rivals or maybe even better than many other luxury SUVs, and definitely better than Lexus GX 550 or even Lexus LX in many ways, because of the quietness, smoothness, refinement, things that can only be associated with a unitized body. And that's one big advantage of a monocoque body SUV, and it's very apparent in this model here, Honda Passport. Another advantage of unitized body is you get more space in terms of the body size compared to the interior space. So for example, even the cargo space, nice and flat. This one doesn't have a third row of the seat like the Pilot, so you don't have that, but you get a huge storage space here. It's not lockable, I wish it was, but anyway, you get lots of space there. Unfortunately, you only get temporary spare, which is a little bit disappointing because it's an off-road capable SUV, so it should have the full-size spare. But anyway, there's a fair amount of space here, lots of space over here as well. And then the back seat and the front seat also pretty roomy. Let me show you. So for example, in the front seat here, I got lots of space, very comfortable seat, good width as well. But if you look at the second row, that's even more impressive, because you have a huge amount of knee room and also just very comfortable seats in the back as well. You get a flat floor, which you don't get in many body on frame SUVs. Like if you look at the Land Cruiser, 4Runners, Lexus GX, they all have a huge hump here for the tunnel, but you get a complete flat floor. And look how much space I have here. This is huge, and I got lots of space in my leg as well, which isn't the case with many other SUVs in this class that are body on the frame. So let's say you compare it to a 4Runner, which really shrunk in the space in the back, so there's only about an inch from my knee to the seat. But look, I got probably almost 5 inches of space here, and it's also really comfortable, and it's just really great place to spend time. So you get a really large cargo space, one of the biggest in this class. You get a very comfortable front seat, lots of space in the second row, and you just cannot get that on body on frame SUV. So there is definitely one huge advantage of having a unitized body, especially with the Passport, because it's also bigger for 2026, and they really utilize the interior space effectively. The fifth point has nothing to do with the unitized body versus body on frame, but it's more to do with the Honda/Passport thing. And that is the fact that we still have a naturally aspirated V6 engine in the Honda. I'm really thankful and really happy to see that Honda has kept the V6 engine for this Passport, and also with the Pilot as well. So you have a 3.5 liter naturally aspirated V6, no turbo, no hybrid. So it's not super efficient, but you have 285 horsepower, lots of torque. It's really a good engine to drive with, and it's also very reliable, easy to maintain. So a lot of the manufacturers and the competitors have all moved to turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. If you look at the Toyota lineup, for example, it's all turbocharged 4-cylinder engine with or without hybrid. But even many of its competitors from other brands have also moved to Turbo 4. And so I'm really happy to say that the Passport have a V6, and that's one huge advantage of the Passport and its sister model Pilot compared to, let's say, Toyota. By the way, Honda didn't go cheap, so you don't have to worry about propping a rod here. So I really like that. But the sixth point is the fact that even though it's a unitized body SUV, Honda has done a lot of stuff to make this truly off-road capable. So this is what I call kind of non-compromise unitized SUV. It has a proper tow hooks or recovery hooks in the front, really big one, bright orange, kind of matches this one. It has a proper off-road tires, which is General Grabber AT tires, all-terrain tires. I've owned a number of General tires, including the Grabber series, and they've all performed really well in the winter time, and they perform well on the off-road courses as well, so I'm happy with that. This tire is not like the one you find in Land Cruiser, which is a Michelin LTX. That tire is a kind of a street tire, like a normal tire. This is the true all-terrain tires. So I really like that. The claddings all look good, and also you get a skid plate in the front, which I didn't show you there earlier. But just overall, the concept of having a unitized body SUV, but with all the characters and the attributes of a proper off-road vehicle. So this is something that I feel comfortable taking off-road, maybe not a serious one. If you have to go up a mountain or climb a rock or something, maybe I won't do that with this one. But if I'm going fishing or camping, I need to go on a dirt road or some rough road, I have no problem with that. So this is what I call the kind of well-balanced, no compromise SUV, where you get both the goodness of a unitized body, but you also have almost as much capability as body on frame SUVs because of the features they've added for the Trailsport. Seventh and the final point is the fact that this is actually amazing value, because it's about kind of mid $60,000 range for fully loaded Passport Trailsport here in Canada. And if you look at, let's say, 4Runner again, or even the Land Cruiser that I owned, you know, Land Cruiser, I paid about $90,000 Canadian. The 4Runner fully loaded Platinum model, for example, cost, you know, in the $80,000 range. So this is kind of like a bargain, because you're getting almost all the things you would expect in the kind of 4Runner / Land Cruiser level, and yet it's $10,000, $15,000, maybe even $20,000 cheaper than some of those models. So really good value. You still get lots of space. It's, again, no compromise SUV that is a great daily driver, really good performance, V6 engine, naturally aspirated, and yet you can get it for just over $60,000, which is honestly a really good value. And the resale value is also high with the Honda products, so you don't have to worry about high depreciation. Overall, I think the Passport is a true winner. I really like it a lot. If I want an off-road capable SUV, but I also want the comfort and refinement and NVH of a passenger car, well, there's no other better SUV than the Passport Trailsport. I think it's one of the best in the marketplace, and it's also a great value. So I hope you enjoyed my video. You can obviously tell I'm in love with the Passport Trailsport. But if you also enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up. Make some comments below, and if you haven't done so yet, would you kindly subscribe as well. Until next video, I'm signing off for now. Thank you so much.